Hello, Christy. How
Hey,
are
Keith,
you?
good. How are you doing? And how are
I
you living your best life today?
Oh my goodness, I am living my best life today in so many different ways. One of them is the fact that I have a soup that's so simple, so delicious. I'm so excited to show you how to put it all together. I have everything over here, you know, and
Yeah.
I have perhaps the most important ingredient right here.
Is
Is
that your secret ingredient? Oh, I love green olives.
Yeah, it's important because it doesn't actually go in the soup, but you can't make soup when you're hungry. So
Okay.
this is more of a snack as I'm
Snack?
making the soup.
Okay, so it's not your secret ingredient.
No. No. The
Now
secret
you make me
ingredient,
hungry. It's lunchtime. I'm
per
hungry,
perfect. It's the perfect time for
right?
the people. And we also have such an amazing topic today. I've been waiting to talk about this for a while. We're talking all about affirmations today.
Yes, I love it. And it's just a perfect transition from last week where we talked about the magic of thoughts and that thoughts are things. So when we are just transitioning to our next week, this is our seventh show. Can you believe it? I'm
I can't
celebrating
believe it.
that this is episode 7 and for affirmations. And it's just a natural progression from the magic of thoughts are things to affirmations and making those thoughts become realities, right? Okay, I'm going to let you take over there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to start off with something basic, right? So we're making a soup, but this is a meatball soup, and the fundamentals are pretty simple. So we're going to share the recipe so you guys can follow along. But we
Yes.
start off with the basics, right? We start off with a little bit of onions and carrots, right? So we got those beautiful colors over here. We're just gonna put them in the pot, but before we put them in the pot, we're gonna use a little bit of sunflower oil. Just a little bit of that beautiful sunflower oil, a couple of tablespoons, nothing too crazy here, right? You can see it's smoking up because the pan is nice and hot. And we're also gonna put a little bit of butter because,
Oh, love
ooh,
butter.
I love butter. Now you don't want to make it that as hot as I did because you're gonna burn the butter. Okay, so here's a great learning opportunity. Don't do what I just did. Okay, do not do what I just did.
So
Learn
we're
from my
going to
mistakes.
do over.
It's actually, yeah. Can we start over? We
No,
can,
no,
right? This is not like,
no. I'm saying just the do over with the pot. No,
okay, okay. But if
goodness,
the
it's
fire
real
alarm
life,
goes, if the
right?
fire alarm, yeah, okay. So the pot is still steaming. Okay, we're gonna have to redo this episode.
No,
Are you
it's okay.
sure? Okay, hold on a minute. Oh no! Okay,
This is real life.
this is real life,
TV,
guys. So you're gonna
right?
have to.
This is
Okay,
real life.
so now this pot is extremely hot, but it's okay. We're gonna keep on trucking. All right.
Good, awesome.
So we're gonna put some sunflower oil into the pot. All right, 1, 2, and 3. A couple tablespoons, nothing too crazy.
Okay,
And now I think it's actually safe to put a little butter in there. The reason
okay,
you want to put butter in there is because you just want to make it a little bit richer. You want to
right.
give it just a little bit of that extra magic. And put a little knife here.
Butter makes everything better, right? I
I
mean,
I mean,
seriously.
you're right. It really does.
Put butter in everything, and it oftentimes it takes away tartness. It adds sort of just a nice little mellowness to the flavor. I don't know. Butter makes everything better. That's the motto at my house. That's the affirmation, right?
Okay, so now we put in the onions.
Okay,
All right, put in the
awesome.
onions here. We put in the
Is it
carrots.
about one large onion, probably?
We're looking at about a medium onion, like
Okay,
one medium onion, one carrot. As long as it's proportional, you'll be fine. Give it a bit
okay,
of a stir, and we're essentially going to leave this on for about 5 to 10 minutes.
okay,
I'm going to give
awesome.
this a quick pinch of salt just to make it beautiful.
Okay,
Got to give it a little bit of flavor.
excellent.
Perfect. And then we're just going to put um, a little lid on it
Okay.
so that my house doesn't burn down. Okay.
I love
Okay.
it.
All right. Boom. Now we're gonna wait a little bit, turn down on low. We don't want it to be too crazy. We're gonna wait about 5, 10 minutes, and then we're
Excellent.
gonna continue while you tell us all about affirmations and I take a breather.
Okay. So basically, we thought today would be a perfect day to transition from thoughts or things to affirmations. So I always think to myself, what is an affirmation? Well, I always think about, people saying, it's almost like a mantra, right? A
Mhm.
mantra is where you have a repetition of a phrase or a thought or an idea, right? And I know that, you know, when you're sitting there going, oh, please, 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 you're going into an exam and you're just going, please, 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 let this go well, let this go well, let this go well, right?
Yeah.
And that's sort of the idea. It's like the same premise of an affirmation, of just the repetition of one thought or phrase, right? That's going to hopefully get you to a better situation. So I'm going to let you take over from there.
Yeah,
And
100%. Yeah.
affirmations are relative to, our mentor, who would be Napoleon Hill, right? From Think and Grow Rich and the Power of Positive Thinking books. So
Absolutely. And I was so, it's funny because when I was reading back to Napoleon Hill, because I'm like, I'm all about affirmations the past couple of years, but also I remember hearing it for the first time from Napoleon Hill, and he's talking about the power of auto-suggestion, and
yes,
involves just influencing the subconscious mind with these repetitive thoughts. And it's amazing, because if you look at all these successful people in the world, it's kind of crucial for achieving success, that subconscious mind. And when you're utilizing these affirmations and you're repeating these words, you have that true conviction, you have that emotional engagement, and it's going to yield something really amazing. And I guess the key to it is repetition and consistency. But I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm going to go a little deeper, Christy, because
go a little deeper.
I'm all about where the more I go into history and the more I learn where everything comes from, the more I realize, like, oh my goodness, like these ideas that are really good and really great and just are they don't go away. They're rediscovered in a way.
Right.
And
Okay. Love
when
that.
I learn more about the human body, and I learn more about the cosmology, and I learn more about our DNA, it's kind of like, wait a minute, these affirmations have the power to actually program our DNA. Like when I say something like, I am kind, I am wise, I am divine, I just feel more powerful. And in the beginning, when I started doing that, I remember feeling a little silly. And then on the 6th or 7th day, I was like, I am cosmic source. I am deserving of all the love and abundance in the universe. And I'm
Right.
just like, well, hey, I'm feeling better. I guess this works. I just say it quietly. Nowadays, I'm in my co-working space. Sometimes I just say them out loud. Maybe
Right.
that's not the best idea, but it's just, I think,
It's okay.
but again, we're putting out those vibrations, those
Right.
frequencies, you're elevating it. And that, I mean, if
Right.
that's not magic, that's as close to magic as we can come. The kettle's boiling.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Check the
So
kettle. Yeah.
check the
So
kettle. Go ahead, Christy.
I'll sort of step in here. So
Please.
basically, what we talked about last week with thoughts or things, we talked about energetically, right?
Yeah.
How an idea can be sent out, or a thought can be a blessing, a prayer, a good thought towards something, any kind of thought. It could be good or bad, right? So that's what
Yeah.
we talked about last week, protecting and guarding our thoughts, and really, the premise of our show, Living Your Best Life Today, you and I have this goal of wanting to share positivity, right? So what
Absolutely.
we're going to share is we're hoping and hopeful that you will want to bring in positive affirmations into your life and share them with others also, right? And the more that you have these positive thoughts and positive affirmations, and you repeat them on an energetic level, it stays. You mentioned this, you and I had this conversation the other day about it is absorbed into your DNA, right? Because we're all energy, right? If you're of the belief that everything in the universe on it is works on an energetic level. We talked about thoughts going out through energy and different levels and of frequency, right? And with thoughts now, with affirmations, you can lift your personal vibrational frequency, right? Or somebody else's, through affirmation, through thoughts, and through repetition, right? And so
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
that's how I believe, Napoleon talks about, with repetition, it sets it energetically into our DNA, into our being, right? And then it becomes a part of our belief. I think I've read somewhere where it takes 21 days to break a habit, right? Or make a habit, right? One or the other. And that's basically through action, right? Or lack of action, the same thing, whether it's an affirmation or an action, that's what's going to set and resonate in your DNA energetically. And if it's something positive, will lift you vibrationally, right? Energetically will lift you. So what was you said you had an affirmation, and by the 6th day, what were those affirmations? Can you share that?
Oh yeah. I mean, okay, I'm gonna share with you some of them. I'm gonna share with you some of them. Absolutely. Might as well have just shown. I just almost burned my house down here. So we'll let's load the
Real
punches.
life, right?
It's
This is real
real.
life. We are
So
real.
so it's funny because like I have these affirmations and I keep adding to them.
Uh-huh.
And some of the ones that I have, let me just find them here. Okay, so I am worthy. I'm an incredibly loving human being. I live in the present moment. I am wealthy. I am blessed. I choose to live big. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I treat others how I want to be treated. I'm happy and healthy. The less I do, the more I make. Every day I get wealthy and wealthier. I am powerful. I'm grateful. Like, and I got like so much more of those, right? And as I say it, sometimes I just go through them very fast.
Right.
That's when I got to realize I got to slow down,
Okay.
right? And it starts with that positive thoughts, right? I mean, that's what I mean. I radiate confidence and attract success in every endeavor. Positive thought, but then you say a little bit of faith and emotion. Like, do you
Right.
believe in it? And that's what Napoleon Hill says, right? Like you start with this positive thoughts, and then you have this faith and emotion, and like yeah, I do attract the best customers.
Yes.
I manage my time expertly, and
Right.
you say that 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 days, and the fourth day you're like, yeah, and you're like on Friday you're managing your time perfectly, and
Right.
you repeat it and with consistency, and then if you throw in a little bit of visualization, if you
Right.
get specific, and you
Right.
have like a practical approach, it's not even woo woo. It's like that's just how the world works.
Right.
Action first, you have thoughts, then action, then you reinforce it, and it's just this beautiful cycle.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that. And we have, I don't know, can I share my screen? I can show everybody the chart. Let
Yeah,
me
that
see.
would be incredible. Could you do that? That because you shared this beautiful
Sure.
chart, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't know how yes, let's definitely share that.
Let me try it. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to share my screen. You might be in it. I don't know if that'll work. Uh, it didn't work.
It didn't work. I can do it. I think I can do it
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so I'm going to present my entire screen here. And
Okay.
why don't you talk about this chart that we have here?
Sure.
I think you can see it now while I add a kettle of water to this
Okay.
little pot right here. So the second step in this recipe
Uh-huh.
is quite simple. All you have to do is simply boil the kettle of water and
Uh-huh.
fill the pot halfway. So
Okay.
all we did right now, onions, and we're sauteing some onions and carrots, making them nice and soft. And the next step is just adding some water. So go ahead
I love
and let the people take a look
it.
at that chart. And okay, there we go.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to start at that top gray arrow, and it all starts with your subconscious mind, right? These are tenets and points from Napoleon Hill, the power of autosuggestion and affirmations, right? So basically, as we talked about thoughts or things come from these ideas and thoughts will begin and originate in the subconscious mind. So we talk about living your best life today. We want to live our lives and try to be as positive as we can, right? And to bring positive thoughts to our mind and sort of send away when human nature is to sometimes have negative thoughts, so we want to push those aside and bring the positivity and positive thoughts closer to us. And with faith and with emotion, the more you believe through repetition and consistency with these affirmations, they become a part of you, right? You can become emotional because it becomes something that you believe in, right? And through repetition and consistency. And then you can add the element of being very specific, with your affirmation. What is it that you're wanting to do? What is it, are you wanting more love in your life? Are you wanting more happiness? Are you wanting more
Hmm.
peace? Do you believe that you can draw or attract a wonderful, loving relationship, right? Or
Yes,
partner,
absolutely.
or job, right? Or, manifest more wealth and abundance in your work and in your life, right? So we can become more specific. We can write it on a list, and through our visualization, right? And we're even, I'm working with Melanie Moore, who is an emotional freedom technique tapper, and she's amazing. That's how Jerry and I met, right? Through her prosperity party. And she did what was called a vision board. You can create vision
That's
boards.
right. That's
This
right.
morning, she actually had a workshop, and I didn't get to attend because I was in a meeting, but she had a special guest who works with green screening and Canva, the app called Canva. And you can
Love
actually
Canva.
Me too. And you can create your vision board and make it come alive. So I can't wait to watch that video. I can share Melanie Moore's information. But, when you are, you know, turning these affirmations into, you're very specific with what your goal is, and then you're specific with your visualization. It can be in a picture on a board. It can be words written up on your refrigerator every day. It can be on
That simple.
journal.
That trigger that gets you back in there, right?
On your phone and your notes, like what you had, Jerry, that you can go to it every single morning when you wake up, right before you go to bed. Visualize what you want. Visualize, if it's a partner, what you want in that partner, what you want to do with that partner. If it's a job, what kind of job do you want? Visualize it. What kind of people do you want to work with? How much money do you want to make, right? You're going to manifest these things through being positive, through sending those thought waves out there, through affirmation, through repetition, letting it all encompass you within your energetic being of your spirit and your physical body. Visualize it, right? Be specific.
See it.
Be specific.
Taste
exactly.
it.
Feel it, taste it, feel the emotions, have the practical application. And then if there's action involved, that's the one thing that I know that, our mentor, Melanie, always tells us. And I'm sure your mentor, James Wedmore, also says this: take action, right?
Take action.
Great spirit in action and taking action. And I'm looking at Jerry. Today, he's cooking a meatball soup.
Okay,
right?
take a look at this situation. So just carrots, onions, butter, sunflower oil, and water. Like, obviously, I get a little greedy, and I filled it up for more than half a pot, because this soup is so good, and it just, I grew up eating it. So here's what we're gonna do. The next step is really simple. We took 3 medium-sized potatoes, right? And we cut them into today's word of the day is bâtonnets. Okay, so bâtonnets are little sticks in French. Right? Because I was like, it's not really French fries. It's kind of like you want a little bit of size to this little thing, right? So something of this nature is what we're looking at, that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna put these bad boys in here. And, this is a really cool soup to make with kids, when people are coming over. I'm gonna tell you why. It's just, first of all, it's just kind of, you do the prep and everything is already kind of done. But more importantly, this is the coolest part. You always get with kids, and you get some ground beef. Right. And you can use ground beef right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to, making them into meatballs. I mean, that's why it's called meatball soup. I went to the Loblaws today. I went to Metro, which are 2 grocery stores here in Canada. And I was trying to find ground pork, and I couldn't find ground pork. And my mother, who taught me this recipe, told me that it's okay to use ground beef. But I think, I'm a Christian Orthodox. I think, just like Noah, one of every animal, I think a little pork, a little beef. I always think pork and beef is when I get a sandwich and they say steak or chicken, I'm like, is both an option? I'll have both. So, but for this sample right here, what we're going to do is we're just going to make these little meatballs. And you want to make these kind of bite-sized meatballs, kind of like these guys right here. Nothing too crazy. Just something that you can, and then you just drop these bad boys in. Then one little step, a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of herbs. But I'm just gonna be rolling some meatballs. As we get a little deeper into what it means to not only align yourself with that higher frequency, but just feel good every single moment of the day. It's almost, I remember when I first came upon this concept, and I was waking up and I'm like, oh, that's so good. Let me smell this olive. Let me taste this. But it's kind of I found it almost difficult in a way to just be kind of always so, I don't know what the word is, but then I realized, wait a minute, this is just being in loving presence. It's just about being in that kind of heart chakra and being like, hey, I'm exactly where I need to be. Everything is perfect. Look at these beautiful meatballs. Like, you can really find a way to appreciate anything and all the little things, but sometimes either thoughts get in the way or sometimes there's a trigger. So that's what with affirmations and even words in the refrigerator. Okay, well, so the triggers that set you off, and the triggers that get you back in that space of pure potentiality where really anything is possible in this world. I'm gonna put this back in. Playing my food too much. Okay.
No, that's okay. And I just wanted to, I know that in building our BLT Living community, we will have a community of people who want to live a positive and great, great life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know friends and I talk about this all the time. Human nature, we always want to, sometimes as we get older, maybe not as much as when we're younger, through our life experiences, sometimes we can go to the negative side, right? And start to create stories in our minds. Maybe
Oh
you're
yeah.
in a situation and you're thinking, oh, does this person not like me? Or did I not do such a good job? And, oftentimes those little stories in our minds can, bring us down a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
So this is where, if you're that kind of individual where sometimes that can happen, I think that happens with everybody at some point in their day or their life. And I think that what can happen is we can try to shut those little stories down, because most of the time they might not even be true, right? But it's just,
Absolutely.
our way of living. It can be, if you go there, go to that space, but maybe step out of those shoes of going to that, those stories, and put a positive affirmation, put a positive thought, put a positive idea, turn it around,
Make it constructive, because then it's going to be destructive, and we don't
Right.
want that.
Exactly. Make it constructive. And, and I just think that then, just like what you mentioned earlier, by the 6th day, you were empowered, right? You felt like you were on top of the world and you could do anything. And I think, we talked last week about, when you first wake up, we've talked about this for a couple of weeks, sending out, ideas and thoughts of gratitude, right?
Yeah.
You can, and thoughts and blessings and prayers to people, maybe, whom you think, for
So
yourself,
powerful.
your life, your
We can
family,
bless
your friends.
others.
Yes, extremely powerful. Then you can add this other layer of affirmation and visualization and action, right? In that it makes these thoughts even more powerful through the repetition of affirmations, and then the visualization and placing yourself in those shoes, right? Of where you want to be or how you want to feel, just trying to live it within your mind. Oh, that's great. Within your spirit. I love it, Jerry. So you could use, maybe if you like turkey, you could use turkey.
Oh, I
If
would love to
you're
try with turkey once, yeah.
you
You know,
don't eat products, maybe you can use like an Impossible Burger, meat, ground meat, or not ground meat,
I'm gonna
ground
put my professional chef hat on. You know what I think? I think you want like a fatty meat. I think you want pork. I think you want beef, because
right?
turkey's very lean. Chicken's very. I've
Okay,
never experimented with chicken but then again, it's all love and it's all good here. Because
right,
right now there's a lot of flavors, the meat and the fattiness of the meat
right.
and the oil and the butter and the vegetables. Now
Okay,
it's a union of love and magic, and it's
okay,
gorgeous. But now we need a little bit of seasoning. We need a little bit
okay.
of seasoning, right? So I'm gonna. My hands are so oily and dirty.
It's
So
okay.
I'm going to skip away from here and just simply wash my little hands.
Okay. I'm glad the
Excuse me.
house was burned down.
Yeah, the house is okay. It's actually a condominium, so the condo is still safe. We didn't get any knocks on it, but hey, that was I'll tell you one thing. We were looking for clips for TikTok. We got some.
Okay.
Um, we got some. So now we're gonna salt to
Love it.
taste, right? Just a little salt to taste, right? And
Good.
the rule is always less than more, of course, because you can
Right?
always go back and desalt it, right? Just get a little bit more. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the flavorings here, and the
Okay.
key here is all we're gonna do is we're gonna use 2 types of herbs, right? So we're gonna put some bay leaves in there, of course.
Okay. Nice.
All right,
Bay leaves make everything better, just like butter.
they do.
Especially if I love it.
Have you ever seen a bay tree before?
Yes. You know what? I almost bought one last week over at McDonald Garden Center. And I think I'm going
Did you
to.
really?
It's about 3 feet tall. I saw it when I first saw them, when they came, all of the herbs and the vegetables came out. It was in a tiny little container. Well,
Okay.
those were the ones that they were selling, but now they're selling the ones in the buckets, in the gallon bucket,
Oh.
about 3 feet tall. And I think I'm going to get one for the garden. And I have to take you all. I'll have to maybe post some pictures of the garden, because now we're getting an abundance of watermelon radishes. They're almost ready. I think that
Ooh.
maybe by the end of the month, we're about to have beets for the first time. And then we have
Ooh.
our dill is taller than me. I'm only 5'2", so I'm not that tall, but it's tall. And then we have so much basil, which I posted on our Instagram last week when I made the basil pesto. What's that one?
Oh, peppercorns.
Peppercorns. Oh, I
One,
love it.
two,
Love
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why I'm so like when I'm like I need to have between 5 and 8 peppercorns. I just feel like, you
I
know,
love.
and
So
then you
you
just
throw them in whole, right?
you throw them in a hole. But you know what I also like to do, just to make it a little more. I just want to crush them a little bit with the side of a
Okay.
knife,
Yeah.
just to get the flavors out a little bit. Maybe,
That. Yeah.
yeah. So just take a little big knife, and then I just go.
Okay.
Okay, okay,
Perfect.
and I lost the peppercorn, but it's okay because we still have 7, which is the required amount for me not to freak out. Okay, and now house and condominium intact. We put the lid back on. I'm gonna give it a bit of a stir because there's and look at these beautiful meatballs. I don't know if you can see this right here. These gorgeous little meatballs with a little bay leaf on top. See, they're already.
With the bay leaf on top. I love it.
Let me just. Yeah, you see. Yeah, that's exactly a little bay leaf on top. There you go. Let me a little action here.
That's
Um,
so great. It's already
I
cooked. Wow.
It's almost cooked, and I can't believe it's 2023 and we don't have smell-o-vision yet. But
I know.
I, I'm hoping we'll invest in the right
Okay.
scientists, the right people to have what
Right?
they because this place right now smells
Oh,
incredible.
I'm so jealous. I'm so hungry now because it's lunchtime.
Yes, well,
This is my
and it'll be ready in like an hour, so it's pretty much done. So,
lunch.
okay, we did it. We got the scoop, first
Yay!
scoop of BLT Living.
Can you, Jerry, can you tell us about why we do food accountability challenges every week?
Absolutely. Some magical, when we first started meeting and we started trying to take little steps towards accomplishing our goals, it was amazing what kind of things we were able to accomplish,
Right.
and just in terms of our career, you putting out an entire album. And,
Right.
we realized that there's a lot of magic in just being able to meet consistently and being
Yes.
able to just get something done, get a little closer to your goals. So what we did is we created a little bit of an accountability group where every week we hold each other accountable to actually cook something for the show.
Right.
So, and it seems simple, but at the same time now it's like you have to prep and you have to think
You
and
do. You have to
and
grocery shop.
you have to grocery shop. You have to make sure that the heat levels are on the right levels with the alarms. All these the peppercorns are crushed. All these different things. But it was just amazing to be able to take something that's really big and really daunting, like putting out an album, like creating a social media strategy, and just being able to just every week get closer and closer to that goal. And if what's great about what this mastermind is that it's people coming together to accomplish some type of goal, some type of common goal in the spirit of harmony. So
Right.
even if you don't accomplish something that week, hey, it's fine. There's a reason why that didn't happen. Maybe you gave yourself too much. Maybe it wasn't the right thing to do. But having an environment where you can talk about it and make sure that, listen, if you didn't quite get there, hold each other accountable, provide a little support. So and every week and every Friday, we're going to be cooking something new. And
Yes.
you're up next, Christy.
And I'm up next, and I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know yet, but I've got a few ideas, and I'm excited. And also to talk a little bit more about the spirit of accountability and working together, the mastermind, the spirit of bringing 2 or more people together for in the spirit of harmony for a common goal and positivity creates that third mind that you
Now
told me.
that I've learned that about you, and I got to tell you, that's so amazing. Every time I think about it, I get so excited. So the third mind, from what I understand, it's like there is a third mind that is formed, a collective, almost like an
Right.
energetic. I don't have the right
Right.
words. As soon as you said it, I'm like, I get it. And I didn't know that before you told that to me.
Right. And so basically, when Jerry and I worked all year through the accountability group, we found a great love for food. And that's why, that was our golden thread, the common thread that we both love food. And so basically, that's how we also came up with the accountability challenge that Jerry could teach me and everyone else in our community how to cook certain foods that he loves. And I will cook different foods that I, cook for my family and my friends or have had at a different restaurant, for example, and want to share it with all of you, in the spirit of our love for food and sharing. And so it just makes me happy that we can do this every single week. And I will post Jerry's recipe on our social media platforms so that you all can try the recipe with your family and friends. And also, if you want to, DM us and give us a video of what you've created from any of the recipes that Jerry and I have shared with you. And our goal, our accountability challenge to each other, is by the end of the year we will have a repository of recipes, BLT Living Your Best Life Today recipes from our food accountability challenges that we can share with all of you in our BLT Living community. So
that was well said.
exciting.
Well said. Clearly, we're living our best life. I hope you guys are living your best life too.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, this works for you just as well as it did for me, but without less fire. But I'm so happy you guys joined us, and we can't wait to see you next week to continue living your best life today.
Thank you so much, Jerry, and everybody, and have a wonderful weekend and live your best life today and every day. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.